Imagine holding a coin that not only represents the turn of a century, but also embodies the tradition of American coinage, stretching back more than 6 decades, a coin that looks ordinary to the untrained eye, but carries with it a story of design, artistry, historical legacy, and numismatic intrigue that is far deeper than its 5-cent face value. The 1999 Jefferson nickel is not just another piece of pocket change. It is a relic of an era when the United States Mint was closing out the 20th century, while unknowingly preparing for one of the greatest transformations in modern coin history. This is the story of that coin. The 1999 Jefferson nickel stands as one of the final issues of the long-running design by sculptor Felix Schlag, whose work first appeared in 1938 after winning a design competition that replaced the Buffalo nickel. Schlag's Jefferson nickel became one of the most recognizable and enduring coinage designs in the United States for over 65 years by 1999. The design had already cemented itself as a familiar symbol of American currency, with the portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and the image of Monticello Jefferson's Virginia home on the reverse. When you look at the 1999 issue, you are seeing a continuation of that tradition, but also a coin that was minted at a crucial moment in American history. The obverse of the coin features the left-facing profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and principal author of the Declaration of Independence. Schlag's portrait is easily identifiable by its sharp cheekbones, the detailed hair tied back in a queue, and Jefferson's stern but composed expression. The inscriptions include the word "Liberty" written in Jefferson's own cursive style, as well as "In God We Trust," and the date, 1999. This portrait by 1999 was a long-standing staple of American coinage, familiar to generations of Americans who carried these nickels daily. On the reverse, the iconic image of Monticello dominates the design. It is a neoclassical building inspired by Italian Renaissance architecture and one of the most recognizable landmarks in American history. Schlag's depiction of Monticello features its dome centered with the name Monticello inscribed beneath in a straight serif font. The words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum" surround the design, along with the denomination 5 cents. This image of Monticello appeared on the coin uninterrupted from 1938 until the early years of the 21st century, and the 1999 issue is one of the last, before the historic redesigns that began in 2004 with the Westward Journey nickel series. The production of the 1999 Jefferson nickel was significant in both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with hundreds of millions struck for circulation, as the coin remained an essential part of daily commerce. During that time, the Philadelphia mint coins were struck without a mint mark, while those from Denver bear the D-mint mark on the obverse to the right of Monticello. Collectors also recognize that San Francisco produced proof versions of the 1999 nickel with deep cameo finishes. These proof strikes intended for collectors were created with polished dies and planchets, making them far more visually striking than their circulation counterparts. By 1999, the Jefferson nickel had already been minted for 61 consecutive years and was preparing to cross into a new millennium. The coin, therefore, symbolizes both continuity and change. It represents the final years of traditional minting before the early 2000s brought about sweeping changes in the nickel's design, and it marks the culmination of a century where American coinage largely remained consistent in its designs while balancing artistry with national symbolism. The 1999 Jefferson nickel also carries significance in terms of minting technology. The United States Mint by the late 1990s had adopted increasingly modern techniques that improved die longevity, strike quality, and distribution. The coins of this era often exhibit strong strikes with sharp details, though variations exist depending on mint location, circulation, wear, and collector handling. Numismatically, The 1999 Jefferson nickel may appear common given its high mintage numbers, but rarity in coin collecting is not always defined by raw population. Instead, it can be determined by grade condition and special varieties. Coins that remain in mint state or proof-like conditions are far scarcer than circulated examples, and collectors seek out the highest graded specimens certified by professional grading services. In particular, full-step nickels are highly prized, a designation that refers to the visibility of the steps on Monticello in the reverse design. Many Jefferson nickels, even fresh from the mint, lack fully struck steps due to die wear or striking pressure, so examples from 1999 that display sharp, complete steps are significantly more desirable and valuable. Another dimension to the 1999 Jefferson nickel story is its place in the greater arc of Jefferson nickel history leading into the 21st century. In just a few years, the design would undergo major changes first. In 2004, with the Westward Journey series, which honored the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition, and then in 2006, when a completely redesigned portrait of Jefferson by Jamie Franke debuted, making the 1999 issue one of the final classic Jefferson nickels. It serves as a closing chapter of an era stretching from 1938 through 2003, a period where the American public grew deeply familiar with Schlag's design. For collectors and historians, the 1999 Jefferson nickel is a reminder of how even the most common coins can carry stories of art, politics, economy, and culture. Coins are objects that move silently through our hands, often unnoticed, yet each issue carries the weight of its time. The 1999 nickel circulated through a United States that was on the edge of a new millennium, with its booming economy, rapid technological innovation, and a public unaware that its currency would soon undergo transformation. When you hold a 1999 Jefferson nickel, you are holding more than a piece of 5-cent change. You are holding the last breath of a design era that had endured wars, social change, and decades of American history. You are holding a link to Thomas Jefferson's legacy and to Felix Schlag's artistry. You are holding a piece of the narrative that ties together American coinage across centuries. And this is why the 1999 Jefferson nickel deserves attention from numismatists, historians, and everyday enthusiasts alike. It is a coin that bridges past and future. It is a coin that symbolizes tradition on the edge of transformation, and it is a coin whose value extends far beyond its modest denomination, because the story it carries is truly priceless.